All right, so this is kind of a quick walkthrough. I don't know where that came from. Neighborhood kids, I guess. Quick walkthrough of the Nissan 720. Now that I've had a chance to clean the inside out a little bit and install a new center console that doesn't fall out. So, and I took the old one, put it back here. But yeah, let's take a look under the hood. Kind of give a tour of what these things look like up close for those of my viewers that don't have one, and the modification that was performed to get it working again. So these trucks have a 4-cylinder with a dual spark ignition for emissions. So one set fires on your power stroke and a second set fires on the exhaust stroke, which is supposed to clear up any unburnt fuel as it leaves the engine. And popular modification that people do, which I'll probably do, is to remove this set of wires and coil and reroute them to this set of plugs and completely delete that functionality. And why you put these over here is because the exhaust valve is hotter and it'll help to ignite that fuel a little quicker, which should give you a tiny bit of a power bump. I guess time will tell when I eventually do it. It's kind of a messy engine bay, and that's after deleting the California emissions system. So one thing this truck has that the other one does not have is this this service light, and the ground's bad, so it only works when it's in its little housing. But on the other truck, I believe there's a cruise control motor here. The side-by-side comparison will demonstrate that. But yeah, lights up nice and bright. But as soon as you take it out, the ground goes bad and it doesn't function as it should. Other notable things: the coolant was actually in really good shape. People took care of this as best they could, especially since it did have a head gasket leak. It's still got a lot of oil leaks and stuff, so I think eventually the engine's going to have to come out. I think the rear main seal's bad and the AC needs to be serviced. It was converted to an R22 alternative, not R134. It's some weird intermediate product from the 90s. Fridge C FR12, and that was done in 1999. So it's probably going to be converted yet again to R134 if I decide to repair it and keep this engine. I've thought about putting the other V8 I have in this, but obviously with the problems we're still having with the S10, that's on the back burner for the foreseeable future. Now the body, as I described in previous videos, is in excellent shape. Really the only rust there is surface rust and a few holes made to install accessories, which these should patch up fairly easily with a little bit of handiwork. There's a few deformed panels, but nothing's actually rotted, which is nice. And my buddy Zach did fix some of the bodywork, and he's actually coincidentally coming today, which I've been here, what, a year and a month, and he and my parents have not visited, and they're actually both visiting today, which is hilarious. Without further ado, let's go take it to Wawa to get a coffee. Oh yeah, last night I didn't film it because I didn't know what I was doing, but I did repair the seatbelt. It was not retracting, so I will no longer hurtle face first into the dashboard if something causes me to crash. Now, one thing this truck has that I'm sure a lot of trucks from the era had, including the S10 I think, is this style steering column adjustment. And the problem with these is they slip and they cause a really unsafe condition, so I need to figure out how to tighten that. So that'll probably be done at some point. If you haven't seen one of these clusters before, let me move the steering wheel out of the way so you can see it. There's a clock, thermostat, speedometer, or not thermostat, temperature gauge, which I guess is kind of related, speedometer, fuel gauge, and this little miniature tachometer, which is kind of cute. And this is supposedly specific to the ST models and some of the higher trim, but this is like the sport version, so they give you that little tach. 5-speed shifter with reverse. These are specific to the ST as well. The other truck does not have these, so I think they were an option, but you have a mechanical oil gauge and an analog voltmeter, in addition to your battery and oil lights, which also work. So this is just kind of a nice little touch they added in there. This is the mouse deterrent, which seems to be working. I highly doubt any of this works properly. I hear everything move around, but air does not blow out of the vents, so I think I need a new blower motor. It's got the ashtray, this, which doesn't work very well, so this is gonna probably be modified or altered in some way. But it's actually a really nice glove box. A lot of the glove boxes of the time were even smaller than modern glove boxes, but that's a really functional and practical space, which is nice. As I said at the beginning of the video, I replaced the center console with this ammo can. I mounted it using the factory screws, so I didn't put more holes in the body than I needed to, and that anchors it nicely in place. Now I don't have a cup holder, so what I'm probably going to do is craft up some kind of tray that attaches to this and then maybe velcros or just sits by weight on the floor. I'm going to attempt to start this now. It's a little cold, so it might take a minute or two. The bowl has to fill up first, so I'm going to let it sit for a second. I'm going to pump the gas a few times. This is not the factory carburetor. I have not tuned it for this engine, so that's probably why it takes a while to start. And then I'm going to just feather the throttle. And got close there, but not quite. So I just got to do this for a minute or two. Probably wastes a colossal amount of fuel. Let's see if I can get it out on the road. It still feels a little cold, but I think we can load it down now and get it out on the road. Now, one thing I like to do in all my cars, I always turn the headlights on just for a little bit extra visibility. That's personal preference. I know today is really sunny out, so it's really not that big of a deal, but I like to do it. It's still running really cold. Now, part of that is I need to put the thermostat back in. I took it out for some diagnostic work, and I suspect that's part of the problem. So yeah, it's running really rich. I see the blue smoke. There it goes. Probably still running a little cold, but not bad. Now it's idling really good. It idles a little high, I think. Again, I gotta mess around with the carburetor some more. That was kind of a quick fix to get it running again, so I don't think that's gonna be the permanent carburetor solution. We'll figure that out in a future video. Alright, so I got my coffee. Idling at this RPM, it really, so it really is heat so much, but it's very noisy. Okay, it does restart nicely, but yeah, I don't think it's going to handle any different. So I will skip back to the house and do a little quick tour of the back and some stuff I was looking for. I think that's the video. And one thing it does when I shut it off, I don't know if it'll do it today because it's cold, but when it's hot, it will diesel. No, it did it there, but it stopped within short order. Sometimes it'll go on for 3 or 4 seconds, but that only lasted 1 or 2 seconds, so I don't know what causes that, but clearly the engine needs a lot of work. All right, so time to film the back segment. I had to go pick this up today. This is not mine, so I don't think I'm gonna film any episodes with it, but it does need a few parts, so maybe I will do a little mini episode with it while it's in my possession. But it was nearby, and my buddy who lives about 3 hours away wanted to buy it, so I went and picked it up for him. I just finished parking the trailer. But yeah, this is a 1994 Mitsubishi Mighty Max. I've never seen one up close in person like this, and I've never gotten to test drive one until this weekend, so that was fun. This is an absolutely beautiful truck. I'm kind of jealous because I think this is in much better shape than the Nissan, but that being said, it doesn't make for much content because there's not a lot to fix. It does have a little bit of rust, but I'm not even touching that. That's not mine. Anyways, let's get back to the other video. Maybe we'll do a small video on this one, but we'll go back to this real quick. So as I was saying earlier, it does have a rear seat area, and these you actually sit sideways. So your back would go here, and you would sit here. And when you're not using them, you can flip them up. You get nice little storage area. And if you were to wear the seat belt, it would go across you longitudinally like this. I can't imagine that's very safe, but apparently these passed the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards at the time. So there's that. And there's one on the other side. Honestly, not bad. I've sat back here. It's obviously not good for long trips, but if you're just going around the corner to the store or down the street, it's not bad. And it's got this little light, which doesn't come on with the door, but I can manually turn it on and off. It's supposed to, because there is a door switch here, but the circuit does not appear to function. Anyways, that's the video. My phone died, and for some reason I filmed the remaining segment on that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully more content to follow probably in 2022. Only got 2 videos out this year, go figure. And yeah, that's the other vehicle. Again, might see some content there. And we're working on that one. I'll explain what's going on with the third shadow in the garage and why there's 2 parked outside in coming weeks.